De-dollarization has become a hot topic in recent times, as countries explore alternatives to bypass the US dollar in international trade.
Latest reports are showing that more and more countries in emerging markets are opting to ditch the dollar for alternative currencies.
The US dollar has over the past century been the most dominant reserve currency. However, this dominance is now being challenged by a wave of de-dollarization, whereby emerging economies are exploring alternatives to replace the greenback in international trade. But how did we get here, and what does this mean for the future of global finance? To understand the current situation, let's first explore what a reserve currency is. Simply put, it's a foreign currency held in large amounts by central banks and international financial institutions for use in international transactions. The US dollar gained its status as the dominant reserve currency after the 1944 Bretton Woods Agreement. This agreement fixed the value of the US dollar to gold and tied other world currencies to the dollar. In 1971, President Richard Nixon declared that the US would no longer exchange gold for its currency, effectively ending the Bretton Woods system. This shift ushered in the era of fiat currency, where the value of money is backed by government guarantees rather than commodities. The US dollar essentially became a floating currency, whose exchange value was driven by the market forces of demand and supply. Despite these changes, the US dollar maintained its dominant position in international finance, peaking at 85% of international currency reserves in 1977. Today, around 59% of international reserves are still US dollar denominated. The US dollar's status is now being challenged by emerging economic powers like the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. There have been reports indicating that these countries are developing a new currency to replace the greenback in their bilateral trade, intending to reduce their reliance on the dollar and the euro. The proposed currency from the BRICS nations could be pegged to gold or other commodities, providing an alternative for international trade. As de-dollarization efforts continue to evolve, the future of the US dollar's role in the global financial system remains uncertain. One of the first indications of de-dollarization is the recent deal between China and Brazil. In late March, the two countries agreed to settle their mutual trade using their own currencies, the Chinese yuan and the Brazilian real, bypassing the US dollar entirely. Another significant event that has happened around the same time is the agreement between Russia and India, which allows them to settle all petroleum trade using alternative currencies like the Russian ruble and the United Arab Emirates dirham, instead of the US dollar. The main driving factors behind de-dollarization are the desire for economic independence, currency stability, and a more balanced global financial landscape. As emerging economies gain strength, they seek to reduce their reliance on the US dollar. De-dollarization is likely to result in major geopolitical shifts and could significantly erode the value of the US dollar in the long run. This process will reshape the global financial system and redefine power dynamics. The future of the global monetary system will be shaped by the ongoing de-dollarization efforts. The success of these efforts will depend on the cooperation of major economies and their willingness to adapt to a more balanced and inclusive financial landscape. The early signs of de-dollarization show that change is already underway. As the world moves towards a more diverse and multipolar financial system, it's crucial to stay informed about these developments. But before we delve deeper into today's topic, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more insights on the global economy and finance. Over the past few decades, the emergence of new economic powers like China, India, and Russia has reshaped the global economic landscape. As these countries have experienced significant growth, their status on the world stage has risen. However, this growth has also had implications for the US dollar. These countries have increased their volumes of trade among themselves, which has made it counterproductive to continue transacting in US dollars. In addition, geopolitical tensions have played a major role in catalyzing the de-dollarization movement. The Russia-Ukraine war, in particular, resulted in Russia being slapped with sanctions by key Western nations, including the US, Canada, and the European Union. China has also been working to reduce its reliance on the US dollar as a way of minimizing the impacts of potential sanctions and economic warfare from the West. The geopolitical tensions are also manifested in the current steps being undertaken by the BRICS nations to develop a new currency and ditch the US dollar for their international trade. As a result, several countries have been working towards diversifying their foreign currency reserves as a proactive measure to cushion themselves from possible economic shocks affecting the US dollar. It's worth noting that political decisions or disruptions in the US economy could potentially impact the value of the US dollar. Diversification of reserve currencies is thus a prudent measure to safeguard countries against such eventualities. The rise of digital currencies, including cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies, is providing alternatives for countries to settle international trade. With the increasing adoption of cryptocurrencies and CBDCs, the reliance on the US dollar will continue to decline in the near future. As economic power continues to shift, it's clear that the US dollar will no longer be the sole dominant currency in the world. The world is becoming more multipolar, and as a result, we will continue to see the de-dollarization movement gaining momentum. De-dollarization is set to shake up the global economic order in a significant way. However, this process will undoubtedly be a major disruption to the current system, which is likely to result in significant currency volatility and financial instability in the short term. As a result, lawmakers will need to be proactive in putting in place measures to cushion their economies from the likely adverse impacts of currency volatility to maintain financial stability. The reduced reliance on the US dollar by different countries will reduce its global dominance. The international currency landscape will become more multipolar, with multiple national and regional currencies being used in international trade. The US economy will be hard hit in the wake of a weakening dollar. The decline in demand for the US dollar will weaken the currency, resulting in higher inflation and interest rates. The US government will also encounter difficulty in financing its budget when the demand for its treasury bonds declines. This will likely trigger a recession in the US economy. The impact of de-dollarization on global trade and investment will also be significant. There is a likelihood for the development of new international trade alliances, including the development of new currency unions. This realignment will inevitably result in some geopolitical shifts among the major economies. This is likely to escalate geopolitical tensions and competition among leading global economies. De-dollarization is undoubtedly a major shift in the global economic order. While there are many uncertainties, one thing is clear: the world will be a very different place in the years to come. The transition will require careful planning and foresight from lawmakers to maintain financial stability and safeguard the global economy. While the de-dollarization wave may be shaking up the global economic order, it's unlikely that the US dollar will be completely dislodged from the global monetary system in the near future. The deep-rooted position that the US dollar holds in the global financial system and the size of the US economy make it challenging for other currencies to challenge its dominance. Nevertheless, the global economy will inevitably become more multipolar and diverse in the near future as a consequence of the current de-dollarization wave. This shift is manifested in various ways, including the rise of the euro. The status of the euro has risen in recent years, making it the second largest reserve currency at about 20% of global currency reserves. The use of the euro has been particularly dominant in the EU, as the countries seek to integrate their economies and strengthen their collective financial systems. Another significant development is the internationalization of the Chinese yuan. The Chinese government has been actively pushing for the Chinese yuan to be used internationally for trade and investment purposes. Some of the steps taken to raise the status of the yuan include its inclusion in the International Monetary Fund's special drawing rights basket of currencies. Additionally, other trading blocs such as the BRICS nations have reportedly begun developing a currency to be used in bilateral trade between member states. The emergence and increased adoption of digital currencies such as cryptocurrencies and CBDCs are also having an impact on the global economy. Digital currencies hold significant potential to disrupt international trade by substituting the dollar. The increased acceptance and regulatory approval of digital currencies in different countries will inevitably diminish the greenback's dominance. While it's still early stages, there is evidence of the global financial landscape undergoing a gradual shift. As we move towards a more multipolar and diverse economic system, it's important to keep an eye on these developments to understand how they will impact our financial future. The de-dollarization wave is a complex concept that will reshape the international financial systems and economic landscape. However, the dominance of the US dollar will not be significantly eroded in the near future, given its current international acceptance and the size of the US economy. Nonetheless, de-dollarization will make the international financial systems more multipolar, with the rise of alternative currencies, digital currencies, and the development of regional currency blocs. Policymakers have a role to ensure economic stability is maintained during this process and to ensure that financial and geopolitical risks are well managed. The de-dollarization wave has created widespread uncertainty regarding the future of international financial systems. But one certain thing is that the era of an unchallenged US dollar is slowly coming to an end. As we move forward, it's important for us to embrace the changes that are coming and to prepare ourselves to adapt to a new multipolar financial system. Thank you for watching this video on de-dollarization. We hope that it has helped you understand the impact of this wave of change and how it will shape our global economic landscape. Thanks for tuning in to Financial IQ. We hope you found this video helpful in your journey towards financial empowerment. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave them down below, and we'll do our best to get back to you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and consider sharing it with your friends and family. We appreciate your support and it helps our channel grow. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you never miss a video. Remember, your financial future is in your hands. By increasing your financial IQ, you're taking the first step towards financial freedom. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.